Welcome back, everybody, to the Delusional Fan with Geraghty and McCloud. Ryan McCloud, Chris Geraghty. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, anywhere you can see or hear us. Also, make sure you comment top 5 stuff, your NFL picks, anything. Just let us know. We'll look at them. We'll comment on them. Bring them up on the show. We like that you guys get involved. So, this week's top 5, I decided to do another out of the box. I know you really liked it when we did our top 5 TV shows,
right?
You wanted to do more of that stuff. So I thought this week, who is an insanely famous actor that has a bunch of good movies, and we could argue about which ones are the best, or not argue or agree, who knows? And I thought Denzel Washington would be perfect. So,
he's up there, yeah, no correlation to anything that happened in sports, really.
Not really.
But great actor.
He's been in some sports movies, I guess.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but some really good ones, yeah.
Which I don't think any of those, nope, none of mine are sports movies. So we're going to do top 5 Denzel movies. So
awesome.
You want to go first?
You started.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay, so I am a big Denzel fan.
Sure.
That's probably one of the reasons
who really is.
So, my number 5, we'll start there. We'll start number 5, was one of his more recent ones, I guess kind of more recent ones, was American Gangster.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that movie. Based on a true story. The guy got out of jail, all right, he's still walking the streets. I don't think he's even dead yet, but...
became an informant.
Yeah, became an informant, worked with that guy, what was his name, Richie something, who ended up becoming his lawyer then also. So, crazy movie about a guy who was basically a driver for kind of a low-level gangster that ran a neighborhood and then became basically the largest heroin dealer.
Frank Lucas, yep.
Yeah, Frank Lucas, the largest heroin dealer in New York. So it was pretty cool movie. I like the way they really did it.
It was done really well. Yep.
Is that one on your list at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we have one the same. I wasn't sure how many were going to be the same. So number 4 for me was Crimson Tide. Absolutely love Crimson Tide. Gene Hackman, who was great in that movie. Not many movies you can watch about guys on a submarine the whole time. That's one of them.
Right.
Right. Hunt for October might be another one.
Yep.
But again, another just fantastic movie. He goes in as the new CO under the captain of the ship, which is played by Gene Hackman. They have an argument because their radio gets broken, and the last transmission was send the nuclear missiles, but then another transmission was coming in. They're not sure what it was, and then there's this big kind of mutiny that happens, led by Denzel, because he's saying we can't just fire nuclear missiles without knowing what that message was. So it was again, super intense, fantastic movie. Had to be on my list.
Yep.
Number 3 was a remake that he was in, but again, I can watch this movie over and over and over again.
I already know what it is.
And I love it. It's Man on Fire.
Oh, I thought it was a different one.
Yeah,
okay.
So Man on Fire. That was close to being my favorite all-time Denzel movie.
Yep.
But obviously it's 3 on the list. But Man on Fire is a great movie. He was some special forces guy, killed a lot of people. Christopher Walken's in there too, who's always awesome. And just not happy with what he did and the things that he did. You can tell that he. And then so
Man on Fire is good.
Yeah, he's trying to kill himself basically by drinking or by firing a bullet into his head. And ends up working security for this little girl. Yeah.
Throughout the whole movie.
Well, the end of the movie, the middle to the end of the movie, the girl gets kidnapped and he goes just. He's not the guy who.
Badass. Right.
So Man on Fire was just fantastic. My number 2.
I didn't know that was a remake.
Yeah, that was a remake. That was a movie from the 70s, I think. So.
Wow.
I never saw the original though.
I have to check out the original. That'd be interesting to see.
Okay, so my number 2 is kind of one of those that never gets talked about, but again, for me, it's one I can watch over and over again. It was called Fallen.
Okay.
Did you ever see Fallen?
I don't think I have, no.
Okay, Fallen's a crazy movie. He is a detective that had hunted down this serial killer forever and finally got him and watched him get executed. Then all of a sudden, these other serial killings start happening exactly the way they're happening before. And it's kind of a supernatural type movie. It ends up, the bad guy is this demon named Azazel that can switch from body to body, and it's just basically out to torment cops and trying to ruin cops' lives. That's this demon's life is doing that. So
7 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah, I love
40% Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, that's okay.
If you get a chance, watch it. Plus, it's got some great Stones music in it too. So,
right.
Because the bad guy likes to sing.
So icing on the cake
is on my side. So good movie. All right. My number one all-time movie.
Yeah.
I had it, and my wife watched this with me. I rewatched it. She had never seen it, which was just crazy to me. Philadelphia. Also, another great
Absolutely.
actor in there, Tom Hanks.
Yep. It's a great movie.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is a gay lawyer who got fired for, because he gets AIDS.
Right.
Gets fired and then wants to sue the law firm he's working
Yeah,
for.
he's unlawfully fired. Right.
Yeah, and no lawyer wanted to take the case, so his last straw was to go to Denzel, who was like that kind of schmarmy, if you get hurt in an accident, let me sue your insurance company type lawyer, who ends up, taking on this big case.
Call Saul.
Yeah, kind of that type of guy, just maybe more on the legal side.
Sure.
But the nice thing, the crazy thing about that movie, why that was important, because it came out at a time and that, after the kind of the big AIDS boom, I guess. But the movie really centralized around people's feelings around AIDS, around homosexuals at the time,
right.
and how, they called it the gay plague and all this other.
Yep.
It was one of those things where you, like Alex watching it, almost can't believe that it was that bad, the way people
were
treated it. Like,
yeah,
I grew up in it,
right.
AIDS wasn't even around when I was born, and then all of a sudden, when I'm in school, we start hearing about this disease, and then it's first just going around this media's telling people that only gay people
they're contagious,
get it.
right? Yeah,
and you don't know how you get it,
right.
So when you find out somebody has it, you don't want to go. It was.
Yep.
So if you ever get a chance, you haven't seen Philadelphia, watch it.
Philadelphia is a great one, actually.
Great movie. So American Gangster, Crimson Tide, Man on Fire, Fallen, and then of course Philadelphia. Those are my top 5 Denzel movies.
So a lot of similarities here.
Okay.
All right, and I'll just start off. Number 5 was I'm going with Crimson Tide as well. It's one of that's one of my favorite. Or it's just. I feel like all my top 5s with stuff like this is going to bring me back to a certain time. It brings me back to '95, which is just great '90s movie. Like you already brought up, two great actors in there, with Gene Hackman and Denzel, obviously.
Yep.
Number 4, Man on Fire. Yeah, right here.
I didn't know you watched that movie. I'm so glad you had that on your list.
Man on Fire is great, man. And you were right. It's not like he's killing people the whole time, but when the girl gets kidnapped and it's his responsibility, he just snaps. And so very cool
and he
stuff.
has 4 bullet wounds when he snaps and kills everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a badass in that movie. That's one of his. That's one of his best characters that he ever brought out, which is saying a lot. He's made a lot of movies.
Senor Creasy.
Right.
Yeah. I love it.
Gracie. Right. I have one. Here's a different one. I got 2 different ones here for us. All right. Number 3, Inside Man.
Okay.
You ever seen that?
I have not.
Dude, you gotta watch Inside Man.
Okay. More
than anything, I mean, he's good in it. He's really good in it. He plays a hostage negotiator, essentially. But Clive Owen is a central character as one of the bank robbers.
Okay.
It's more than anybody in the movie. It's a very it's a really cool story. There's a lot of twists and turns. You don't really know what's going on the whole time. When you watch like a bank robbery movie or a train robbery movie where like you don't even know how they're getting things done or how they're pulling this off, right? Yeah. It's just kind of keeps you going the entire time. It's such a brilliant way of robbing a bank, I guess. So, and then he's one of the best negotiators around, but he's getting the FBI pushing him to take over in his jurisdiction, all that stuff. Kind of a classic hostage negotiation bank robbery movie. So you don't know who the inside man is in that. So awesome movie there. 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's a high score. Number 2, this is actually on one of my lists before when we did top 5 sports movies. He Got Game. He's great in that movie, dude.
Isn't that Ray Allen in that
That's
movie?
Ray Allen, yes, of course.
Ray Allen's a superstar and Denzel plays his father
who... I certainly don't want to. Am I okay to give things? It was out in '98.
Yeah,
you got to see it. You got to see it. Right? Sure. He essentially pushed. He was one of those fathers that pushed his kid to be, at a very young age, to be the best. And it was, of course, in this movie, basketball. And had a drinking problem. Ends up unintentionally. He loved his wife, but he unintentionally gets physical one night, shoves her, and she breaks her neck. He ends up going to prison for murder, obviously, or manslaughter, whatever it was. And so, Ray, it's about him from a prison cell trying to, he gets, long story, he gets out of prison. The warden of the prison allows him to be released to try to sway his son, Ray Allen, into going to the alma mater of the warden. Big Red. So he's like, I can be free. I know you hate me, but you can change my life here and help me out. And I'm kind of reconnecting.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's actually a really good movie, man. That was one of Spike Lee's. I mean, I'm not a huge Spike Lee fan. That's I think his best movie that he ever made. And he's great in that. Number 1 is American Gangster. Yep. And again, we kind of went over that. Great gangster movie, kind of a newer age gangster movie in terms of it's not, usually it's a Goodfellas or.
And a different side of
actually,
gangsters,
right.
Because he was pissing off the Italian mob.
Absolutely, right. Well, they were saying, I mean, there's a lot of times in that movie where they say that. They're like, there's no black man who's ever done it like we've done it. This can't be real. And it was, of course, I mean, it's kind of a factual-based movie. So, really good stuff there as well in American Gangster. Great, absolutely great album as well. Jay-Z, American Gangster is one of his best albums, I think. So, and that was kind of one of those offset. It wasn't for the movie, but went along with it when it came out. Yeah.
All right, so go over your top 5.
So number 1, American Gangster. And then going down 2, He Got Game. 3, Inside Man. 4, Man on Fire. 5, Crimson Tide. I had a late second switch there.
Your late switch? What'd you switch it out with?
Training Day.
Oh, I see. I thought that was going to be on your list. It's a good movie.
And I did toy with it all day here, which one I was gonna go with, but I can't go over Crimson Tide. That is one of my favorite growing up movies. So yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, those are our top 5 Denzel movies. Please put your Denzel movies. We want to know what you guys like on our top 5 this week. Make sure you put them on Facebook for us. When we come back, week 2 in the NFL, I am in the lead in the points, so I look to extend my lead. We have our 3 locks, our 2 upsets. We are also going to talk about some of the fans that gave their locks and upsets this week. So we'll be right back with our week 2 NFL picks.